Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miss back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another CDL video, and of course, the Major just ended last night. Major 3, hosted by the Toronto Ultra, just ended, and of course, the Grand Finals. We have new champions in the Seattle Surge, which is really exciting. A ton of great matches this weekend. And yeah, I mean, pretty awesome overall. Of course, like I said, 5-3 for Seattle over the Atlanta FaZe. So Atlanta has been to every grand final so far this year, but is unsuccessful in every one of them, which is kind of surprising. So here's a look at the stats in the series. One new thing about this is, well, I didn't know this at least until today. On the new updated CDL website, they actually have stats for past for series now. Like if you go back to some of the other matches over the weekend, there are your stats, which is pretty cool. So I didn't know that up until like 10 minutes ago. So that is very cool. But yeah, of course, the Grand Finals was an interesting one. Seattle really took it to Atlanta, those first 3 maps, of course, taking a 3-0 series lead, then only needing 2 more wins, which they end up getting over the next 5 maps. And, well, of course, they end up winning their first event, getting to a Grand Final. They have a 100% ratio now in a Grand Final. This is the highest the Seattle Surge has ever placed. The highest before this event was top 4. Last year in Cold War. So that's very cool. Obviously, very good for them. I wonder if the stats are actually up per map. No, they aren't. Okay, but nonetheless, again, a really fun weekend. Let's take a look at my pick'ems because they got absolutely destroyed. They were fucking horrible. I literally didn't get a single series right. I mean, yeah, that's not surprising to be fair. I had Minnesota beating the Thieves. That obviously didn't happen. I had Toronto beating FaZe, which obviously didn't happen. I had Texas beating Florida, which did not happen. I had the Surge beating, or sorry, the Subliners beating the Surge. That did not happen. Then losers, I had Breach versus Rocker. Of course, I didn't even have the Breach to win, so I got that wrong. That is actually insane. I think it's honestly harder to get every series wrong than it is to get every series right. That's fucked, man. And of course, I mean, once you get to losers, I mean, I didn't have any of these teams even in losers at this point, right? So, yeah, kind of surprising, to be fair. I mean, yeah, obviously I got absolutely destroyed in these finals. Well, not in these finals, in these predictions. Not even close. Literally 0 points, which is hilariously bad. I would love to see leaderboards for other people. I don't think I can actually see those still. No, unfortunately I cannot. But yeah, over the weekend, I guess, Major 3, Mischievous, was actually the champion of Major 3, 45 points. So good for them, because that's honestly insane that they got that many points. I mean, again, I wasn't even fucking close. I went completely rogue, I guess. What about Major 2? I mean, I did pretty decent in Major 2. Major 1, I did better. Kickoff, I did bad. So, yeah, some pretty interesting ones so far, of course, this year. I feel like for the most part, Major 3 was definitely the hardest for everyone. I mean, I got 42 points without even getting a single point on the weekend, so that's pretty crazy. I'm currently rewatching the match. Well, not rewatching, sorry, I guess watching it for the first time through, because I didn't get to watch it last night. As soon as Toronto lost, I went to bed because I worked at 4 a.m. this morning, so... And it was 8:30 by the time they lost, 8:30 p.m. So let's take a look at the full bracket for the event, I guess, yeah, schedule. And, of course, Toronto put on a show in their hometown, being able to go on a really solid losers run to make it to 3rd. Of course, just falling short to the Atlanta FaZe. Let's see if this loads, I guess. Hopefully it does, but it's not looking too hot right now. But yeah, of course, a really surprising and good losers run from the Ultra. It's definitely the best the Ultra have looked this year, and you know what? There's a lot of positive from a lot of teams here this weekend. So, okay, well, I guess let's go to Twitter and see if we can find it. Twitter. Let's see if we can find it. We can probably find it on CDL Intel. Yep. Let's see if we can find the bracket. Well, of course, here is the overall standings, which we'll take a look at in a moment. But let's see, of course, Pred with the MVP. Definitely a fair statement. He's also the first Australian to win a championship, which is pretty cool. So good for him. I'm not going to be able to find the bracket here, am I? Well, let's actually go to the COD League. Let's see if we can find it. Hopefully we can. I'm guessing it would be here somewhere. There we go. So, yeah, of course, a very interesting weekend. I'm sure most people probably didn't have this happening. So good for anyone that did. Of course, I didn't get a single series right, which is hilarious. Yeah, again, like I said, Toronto going on quite a losers run. From losers round 1, they beat the Legion 3-1. Then they beat the Rocker 3-0, the Mutineers 3-0, and at that point they have a 9-1 map count in losers. They go up against the Thieves. They make it a 12-2 map count, and then overall lose to FaZe. I mean, they lost to FaZe in an overall 6-3 in their 2 series this weekend. But I mean, yeah, overall Toronto went, what is that, 6, 8, 8 and 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So yeah, they went 15 and 8 on map count, which is pretty good for them, of course. And again, like I said, by far the best event the Seattle Surge has had in franchise history, so good for them. Mutineers didn't do bad. I mean, they didn't do as good as they did in Major 2, but of course, Texas, really surprising weekend, bow out top 5th/6th against the Thieves, and surprisingly enough, the Thieves squeak by the Rocker. They get destroyed by the Thieves. They ended up destroying Optic after map 1, and then they kind of got destroyed apart from like the control against Ultra. So it was a weird weekend overall. I expected the Subliners to do much better, so I'm really surprised there. Gorillas didn't even win a map. At least the Legion won a map. Neither did the Breach, I guess, to be fair. So yeah, a pretty surprising weekend overall. Now let's go and take a look at the standings. So of course, now in last place, still it is the Paris Legion, which looks to be the guaranteed miss of the postseason at this point. I mean, it's only the top 8 teams that make the playoffs, and it's still very close. From 4th to 10th is 40 points. So, you know, right now, if the playoffs started today, Rocker and Mutineers would be out of it, including the Subliners and Legion. That is very possible on how it ends, but I would not be surprised if the Gorillas and Thieves bow out while the Rocker and Mutineers get in, but it all depends on Major 4. And of course, Atlanta up to 260 points. They've led the league in points every season so far since the CDL has started, and still have a worse record than Texas, but they just haven't played as many series, which is very interesting. But of course, I mean, FaZe has gotten so many points because of how many times they've gone to the grand final, which you get a ton of points going to the grand final. So you finish second, you get 50 CDL points. So they've gotten 150 CDL points just from going to or getting second place at all 3 events so far this year. So yeah, I mean, pretty interesting. But yeah, I'd say it's just about a guarantee the Legion are not making the playoffs. I mean, they would have to get 50 points in qualifiers, so they'd have to go 5-0 as well, get 65 points by winning Major 4. With that 115 points, they'd have 135 points, which would put them top 6. But that's assuming Breach, Gorillas, Thieves, Rocker, Mutineers, and Subliners don't move at all, which is just not going to happen. So unless the Legion literally go like, well, I guess, let me see, what would it be? 5-0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they'd have to go 9-0 throughout Major 4, which I'm sorry, but it's just not happening. So as of this very moment, it's basically a guarantee the Legion are out of it. The Subliners not looking great right now. I expected them to have a much better event than they did. But overall, the Subliners in 11th with 70 points. It's going to be tough for them to make the postseason. They're going to have to win at least 4 matches here, I would say, if they really want a chance at winning this next, or making it to champs. They're going to have to win at least 4 out of their 5 qualifiers, I would say, because then they could be tied with the Mutineers and Rocker. But that's if they don't play, or that's assuming they don't play, I guess. But, yeah, I mean, I guess we can look at the schedule. Well, actually, one sec. Before we go to the schedule, still looking at the standings. Again, I mean, it's such a toss-up right now between the Mutineers and Ravens. I mean, even between Seattle as well. Like, 175 points to 110 points. A 65-point differential from 3rd to 10th, right? Like, it's a guarantee Atlanta and Texas make the postseason. I'd say it's a guarantee the Surge does as well. And, I mean, it's probably a guarantee the Ravens do as well. As for the Ultra, Breach, Gorillas, Thieves, and Rocker and Mutineers, those ones are still up for debate, and I mean for the Subliners and Legion, it looks like they're going to be out. But of course, we can take a look at the schedule for the New York Subliners Major. So of course, we've got starting matches in 2 weeks now. Yeah, today's the 6th, so yeah, 2 weeks ish, 2 or 3 weeks, I think that is. June 24th, the qualifiers start. So obviously, Florida, New York. That's a very important series. Texas versus Boston, that's very important for Boston. Toronto versus LAG, that's very important. And Toronto versus London Royal Ravens. So if Toronto wins those 2 matches back-to-back, then they would actually move up to 4th, I believe it was, right? Let me see. Yeah, so then they would move up to 4th. So that's very possible. Again, some big matches. So we shall see. We shall see. So again, congratulations to the Seattle Surge on finally getting their first chip as a franchise. Now the only franchises to not win a chip is the Legion, the Thieves, and the Breach. Sorry, and the Ravens. So, yeah, now, of course, Atlanta has some. Texas has some, or 1, I guess. Seattle has 1. Toronto has 3. 2, right? Yeah, 2, sorry. The Breach obviously don't have 1 yet. LAG just got 1. LAT has not gotten 1, whether it was under Optic or Los Angeles Thieves. Rocker have gotten 2. Florida have gotten... Rocker has 1, my bad. Mutineers have 3. Subliners have 1. And the Legion, yeah, still yet to get 1. So who knows? That's very possible that could change here in Major 4 starting at the end of the month. But... yeah, there we are, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy. Again, congratulations to the Seattle Surge, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.